tough start to the season. It's obviously not ideally what anyone was hoping for after how last season ended. What do you feel the team has to do just now to stop getting cut adrift at the bottom of the table? Because you're already 7 points back, and a defeat at the weekend could leave it. You're looking at double digits to the playoff places really early on.
Yeah, first of all, it's not going to happen because we're not going to lose. But then, and then you're right. The season has been started not the way that we wanted. We have to be better. We have to be better in a lot of things. I would say the main thing that we need to be better is to stick to the plan. I think that we had too much trial of interpretation from too many players during this run, and time where when we actually stick to the plan and stick to our principle and play the way that we are supposed to play for the entire game, the game were actually really good. And I referred like in the game with Portland that we didn't win, but we did a very good performance. The game against Kansas, the game against New York City at home, and I would include also the game in Los Angeles, even if we lost. The other games, the three games that we lost in Columbus, Montreal, and Austin and Houston, sorry, we didn't do what we planned to do. We drifted away from our way of playing, and we wanted to do things differently. And we are a team that either we play, since we make the organization and we always say that our way of playing is the leader. We don't have leader on the field, and I actually don't want leaders on the field. I want that the team is the leader. If we get away from that, it's done. So we need to be very humble, and if I have to do A, B, and C, I have to do A, B, and C before I can try to do D and E that are gonna be maybe magic thing, but they're a way of the thing that we tried in training.
You've spoken many times that you don't have a starting 11. You've got
Yeah.
a start in 2022, and you're going to use the squad. Do you feel though that you're maybe not getting the chemistry that you're needing in certain positions, especially maybe defensively, with so many changes? And do you also feel that you're maybe getting the best out of certain players in the position that you're currently playing them?
I agree, especially the second thing that you said. I don't agree on the first one. On the first one, I think that we need to play who gives us the best guarantee every week, and I think that's a strength point, and will become a strength point like it was a strength point like last year. On the second part, we may be expected from some players to be better in some position. It's true. It's true. So we are actually reconsidering it. We are actually reconsidering the position and the role of some players.
Okay, and just one last quick one for me. Eric Godoy came through the MLS Next Pro game
Yeah.
on Sunday looking unscathed. Is he in the mix to get back into the first team now? Or do you want to have another look at him in MLS Next Pro?
I think that the plan with him is doing well. Of course, he doesn't have the rhythm of the MLS game, so what is not ready to play 90 minutes. So he will come with us to Austin and be in kind of a solution on the bench if we need a defender in the second half. Then the next week we'll have a bye basically because our game against Seattle has been postponed. So the plan is to train him next week and play 90 minutes in the MLS Next Pro the following week since we play in Vancouver. So in this way we'll be ready to be in the mix to hopefully if everything goes well with his calf to be in the mix to for a spot in the starting 11 against Toronto.
That's great. Thanks so much, Vanni.
No problem.
Thank you, Michael. We'll go to Joshua Ray.
Good afternoon, Vanny.
Good afternoon, Josh.
Just another injury question. How has Ryan Gauld been doing after he was subbed off for a concussion sub in Montreal?
Well, he had symptoms for till today. Basically, he had he took a very very big hit, unfortunately. Parenthesis. I don't know how it's not a foul, but it's okay. It's that's close the parenthesis. But it's so he didn't do anything for these 3 days beside resting and because we had to wait for him to be complete symptoms free to start the process that is gonna bring him back to the field. So he will start the process probably tomorrow or Friday, jogging a little, so he won't come to Austin. And next week, it's a good thing that we don't have a game the following week, so he will recover 100% and will be ready to be part of the squad when we'll play at BC Place against Toronto.
Slow starts have been sadly a common theme for your squad, and another slow start was a thing in Montreal. And
Yeah.
what's been the message to the team regarding those slow starts?
Well, the message has been pretty simple. It's like, I think it's a matter of confidence. The confidence is that we need to get slapped in order to start playing. And I have to be honest, it was also the same last year, even when we were winning. It was most the time that we needed to get, especially for the first 5-6 games that I was in charge, it was like this. So again, I think that everything goes back to stick to the plan and play the basics. Because if we do what we are supposed to do on a basic level, and then we can get confidence and doing more. Because without getting slapped or going down or being asleep. So it's we'll see. We need to maintain the level of intensity for 90 minutes. We play against number 2 in the Western Conference, a team that is on a roll, I would say, and we need to be really, really, really good because we need a result.
Yeah, and speaking of that, the intensity kind of comes when you guys are facing adversity. How do you guys manage to keep the intensity to have it for a full 90 minutes instead of just 20 or 30 minutes?
Yeah, it's a good question. And again, it's all about the intensity is not that go. What we need to understand is that heart without brain is nothing. Okay, the most important thing is the organization. If we don't do what it's supposed to do, it's also meaningless to be intense, and it's impossible to be intense. The other thing is also that we need also to be very organized Saturday, not only because the team is really good, but because we're gonna go to play maybe at 30 degrees. It's the first time in the year where the weather will play also a big factor in terms of not wasting energy. And the only way of not wasting energy and not make runs that we are not supposed to do is to keep our tactical structure at the top. Again, the only way to win games is through a team effort, not with 11 different personal efforts.
Thank you, Vanni.
Thank you.
Thanks, Josh. We'll go to Nathan.
Hey, Vanni, how's it going?
Good. It's well, we are more optimistic than last time that we talked to each other.
Good to hear. Boston's coming up on the weekend. They're a team that seems completely different than it was last year. Last year, they went through a lot of hardship being one of the brand new guys in the block. This year, they're flying. In your team's analysis of Austin, what are you expecting this year that you maybe didn't get last year?
Well, last year they were very good when they had the ball, but they weren't very good off the ball. And they played a very expansive football that when they lose the ball, put their team in trouble because there was a lot of space for the other team. What they do much better this year is to be prepared when they have possession to win the ball back. They're much more compact, and they play brand of soccer that is still possession based, but they try to overload with all the players in a side, and if they lose the ball, they're able to be in counter attack and not exposed to counter attack. The other thing is that I know that we shouldn't speak about a single play, but they have a striker that I really like a lot. I really like Ruti. It's a guy that he works a lot for the team. He makes run, he defends, and he plays. And it's a team player as a number 9. And I think that that was a key missing piece that he didn't have last year.
Good stuff. I've got one more here, and I'm not too sure how much you're going to be able to talk about it. Andreas Cubas from Nîmes, apparently he's in New York right now, undergoing a medical, pending transfer. Axel Schuster apparently is out of town in Vancouver. Anything that we should be reading into these two separate stories as possibly one?
Maybe. Well, it's not for me that to tell you, because it's a club thing. So all the things that came out. I read Twitter too, and the club is working. The thing that I can tell that you have a lot of fact straights. One thing is wrong. I won't tell you what is wrong, but only one thing that you said is wrong.
That's good enough for me. Thank you very much.
Yeah, no problem.
Mystery. All right. Thank you, Nathan. We'll go to Colin Miller.
Hi, Vanni.
Hey.
Hope you're well, pal. Just watching the Austin game at the moment.
Yeah.
I think they can be guilty of overplaying a little bit.
Yes.
Out of the back a few times. How are you going to address that, Vanni? I know that getting stretched on this.
No. It's what we. Well, Austin was the second game that I was in charge last year. And I don't know if you remember, guys, here in BC Place, the first half, they destroyed us. Then we made some changes in the second half. They actually was the game when I decided to go with the back 3. And at halftime, and because the way that they were playing, if you don't press very well, it's hard, because what they do, they play with all the players. They also bring the opposite fullback to play in. They actually drop a number 8, so they create a lot of numbers close to the ball in order to play. And if you're not able to be very organized in the press, they're gonna beat you. So what we're gonna do is, in my opinion, being very intelligent of not overpress the central ball. So the two strikers will have the main focus of bring the ball, force the ball wide, and one of the two strikers, and not let them play through and play easy in the middle. And then when the ball goes wide, we'll need to be very aggressive with wing back, midfielders on the side of the ball, and etc. to try to lock them there. I think that that's the way that we need to choose very carefully the area when to press, because if we want to press in all the width of the field, it's going to be too easy for them to find the space to play between us.
And the final one for me, Vanni, is they get a lot of bodies back behind the ball in the box, but I'm not convinced that they're great defensively and from crosses and so on. Is that a plan that maybe you're looking at as well? If it is Brian and Lucas that are in the mix, obviously I don't know the team, but is that a plan to try and get the ball into the box?
Yes, it is. It is. I firmly believe that the more crosses we have from a specific area, that for me means early crosses and cutbacks, so not the classic crosses. The more crosses that we have from a specific area, the more chances we have to win. And of course, we still need to make the final choice, but we have players that can be a threat. And the most important thing, we need players in the box, because you've seen even last week, the reason why Brian scored is because Lucas was there. Lucas tried to win the ball. Lucas doesn't win the ball, but in this way, he bring away defenders for Brian, and Brian is ready to score. And at the end, even the goal that they disallowed, we crossed. We had Toss, Brian, and Lucas in the box, and that was the reason why Toss was able to find the space, because the defenders couldn't do the numerical superiority, so I mark someone and I attack the ball with someone other defenders, and that's the only way for us to be, I would say, effective in this kind of game.
Okay, thanks, Vanni. Good luck.
No problem. Thank you.
Next up, I'll go to Trevor Henderson.
Hey, Vanni.
Hey.
So you said earlier that you know the guys aren't sticking to the game plan. Is it because they're getting frustrated and they're not seeing immediate results, so they get away from it, or they want to do something else, or is it because maybe just some of the players are not able to play the game that you want them to play?
It can be a lot of things. It can be a lot of things. As I said before, it's not blaming the player, because remember, it's like when the team is not doing what you think they're supposed to do. I say every time the finger should be pointed on you first, because it's maybe we didn't prepare enough, maybe we expect too much from some players, or maybe we chose the wrong player to do something. So it's a mix of everything. But I think also you're right in the terms of we need a good result. We need a good result, and I give you an example. It's not a case that after the win against Kansas City, we had a very good performance against Portland, and then we had a defeat for a lot of reason, but we didn't deserve it, and then maybe we went a little down in the pit again. So we need to really be focused on the task. Don't think about too much of our standing at the moment, knowing that it's a very important game, but we need to be focused on the task, because if we do very good on the output, the outcome will take care of itself.
Yeah, because one of the things that I mean, obviously it's my opinion, but I see some impatience in some of the players who they just want to make something happen. So they're playing balls and passes that they probably shouldn't make. You get guys who cut in off a wing, and instead of laying it off, they will blast a shot and gets blocked because there's two guys in front of them. And I watched the first half of the Seattle game after I watched your game, and I just noticed that there was a lot of patience there. They get down to the other team's 18-yard box. The play's not there. The shot's not there. They pull it out. They move it around, switch to the other side. And I just see with this team just a lot of impatience. And is that maybe just some immaturity, or is it just a lack of quality? What do you think that is?
It is the fact that first of all, I agree. But I don't want to call it impatience, because calling impatience is calling something intangible, and actually I think that actually something tangible. The fact that again, I have to do as a player what is required me to do. Then if I want to invent something, it has to be a plus. Not I can't invent something because I want to do something replacing the thing that I'm supposed to do. And we need to be, all of us, us as a staff, explain this better and working even more. And the player following even more, sticking to the plan more. Because if we stick to the plan, the points will arrive.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Trevor. And we have one more follow-up from Michael McCall.
Hey, Vanni, just wanted to follow up on something that I just asked earlier there. When we're talking about players maybe not getting the best out of them in certain positions, one of the players I was kind of alluding to was Christian Dahomey, and we saw last year and the year before like what a danger he can be in the attack. And I know we spoke in the off season about how you're looking to wing backs primarily where you see him, but do you feel that you've lost some of his attacking strengths by playing him there, because he's maybe concentrating too much on the defensive side of the game and trying to improve that?
I don't think he's concentrated too much on the defensive side of the game. I agree with you that it was more effective when he played striker with us than he was playing as a wingback at the moment. So I think it's when I was referring to him, also that we have to think about which is his best position now for the team. He can be, and striker can be one of the two tens if you play two tens behind the nine. as a wingback. He showed us that he can do it, but probably at the moment, what we think that it could have been his primary position. His primary position needs to be again one of the position up top.
That's great. Thanks, Vanni.
Thank you.